over the years you have seen Bangladesh's cricket progress. So have they really moved forward after getting the test status and playing the first T20 tournament World Cup during back in 2007?
Yeah,
Any
I think
progress you have watched?
they were making great strides, but they didn't perform too well in this competition. And I think they do have some good players. It's quite obvious that they'll be disappointed in the way they've performed. But they are test playing nations, and people expect them to do much better than they did in this tournament.
So can I ask you a question?
Being the associate nation, some of the, Afghanistan, basically Afghanistan did well, but also USA and other things. How do you see that progress, the change?
Well, it sounds that they've done fairly well, but I presume if they play more cricket, then they'll be much better. I think they look forward to tournaments of this nature because it's the biggest tournament that they can play. But I think they should be able to play more cricket, and that's where they will improve. I think years ago they were part of our one day system. Why that stopped, I don't know. But probably if that had continued, they probably would be a much better um, unit.
And does it game has become faster, or how do you feel this thing? Because although the runs didn't come through, how do you feel?
What about the
You mean
smaller countries? As I said, if they play more cricket, they'd be much better. Probably they could be included in some of these other T20 tournaments, IPL, CPL, and they get a chance to play. For instance, if like Ireland, if they now can play test teams before they come in to England. So the same thing should happen with those smaller countries. And I think the more cricket you play, you must improve.
Sir, may I ask you a question? What do you think about this T20 tournament? How it run?
Well, yes, I think
Also.
I think I'm a little disappointed with the scores. There are not a lot of big scores, and you expect teams of the nature that we have here making 116 and people struggling. And obviously, probably two of the wickets are much slower than normal. And but that's the only part that I'm disappointed with, that we didn't have much bigger scores.
So the T20 is catching up so much. Do you see the ODIs, the 50 over competitions being slowly nudged away?
The ODI competition.
ODI World Cup or ODI?
No, he said
Not
the
all.
evolution of the T20.
Yeah.
You see it creating a vacuum and making 50 over cricket disappear.
No, I think there's space for a lot of all the cricket, really. If we can just work out things, people to be greedy and they want to do this, and they're neglecting, the longer game, and I think that is a little bit difficult. I think that the longer game improves the shorter game, and I think they should have a lot more test cricket and so on, because I think it improves the technique and so on of players, male and female.
Sir, you have led the invincible West Indies once upon a time in both Test and One Day cricket. And what do you think about today's West Indian cricket?
Well, yes, we've been slightly in the doldrums for a while, but they've done fairly well in the last couple of months, and it will take some time to get our players back on song. I think we have one of the best one-day sides. When you look at it, we've played well. Our players are, wanted throughout the world, so they have to be good. They must be good players. But I think it's going to take some time, and if we can get things together, because people still want to play Test cricket in the West and one-day cricket in the West Indies. We still have some good young players coming through, and I think in the next I think in the next year or so, we can be a force to be reckoned with.
What do you make of the crowds at Kensington and Antigua? You were honored
Hmm.
last Sunday by taking up the trophy to mark the anniversary of 75 and 79. What did you make of the crowds in this tournament? What excited
Well, the
you?
crowd has been good. I mean, you look at that game, the Barbados game the other day, they filled to capacity. And I must say that I'm very impressed with the Barbados Stadium. I'm looking at it when I was on television at home. It's even much better now when I'm here. It's amazing what they've achieved, and I hope that they can get to say they can get about 30,000 people because this is a cricketing nation, and they've served us well over the years, and it's good to see that somebody has got the vision to improve the stadium, and I hope they can improve the stadiums throughout the West Indies.
Any names on the walls speak it out. I mean, some have played with you, some were your heroes. Tell
Yeah.
us a bit,
Yeah.
seeing those names in lights.
And it's yes, I think that's something that they've done extremely well, and I hope that that we can be a much better force in the not too
ICC is talking about the globalization of the cricket, but the past decades we saw that Kenya is falling out, Zimbabwe is falling out. So, is there any chance you thought that Bangladesh is going that way, or the Bangladesh how they can improve? Do you have any suggestions like that?
No, my suggestion is that if you're not playing 3 Test matches, you play 5. You can West Indies travel 12,000 miles to Australia to play 2 Test matches. That's nonsense. And then they play 2 games before they play the Test match. That is not how Test cricket should be played. We should think of a situation where you have a window for Test cricket, and everybody will be able to take part, not only the larger countries. So I think they need to sit down and work out exactly how they want to play cricket, Test cricket, and 1 days. Because you just can't play just all 1 day cricket. People want to me, T20 cricket is an exhibition, and Test cricket is an examination. That's how I would sort of
So as this
Grand
World
Roasted.
Cup was held between US and West Indies, and USA has done exceedingly well in this World Cup to reach the Super 8s. What do you think an associate country like USA can do to really upskill themselves because they're not playing Test cricket at all at this point of time?
Well, there again, as I said, it's what they have for the future. You can see that they have talent, and quite a lot of talent. I was involved with the MLC years ago, and I think we were trying to get universities to play Test cricket because you had a lot of Commonwealth people studying, in like in the USA.
Yeah, college cricket.
Right. So the point is that once you promote the cricket and people are playing the game, then it could only ascend. And if we don't do that, well, then it will be there. They just come and play, and there's no future. But I think you have to think of a future. I think somebody said that they have people from the Middle East are trying to get cricket being played more often and a more lucrative sort of game for the USA.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but I still think that they need to play more cricket. And playing against good opposition. That's the way you will improve.
I want to ask you about Test cricket. In a few weeks, the West Indies face England at Lords. 3 Test matches, as we said, 3 Test matches or 5 with the way you want them to go. West Indies have 3.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Craig Brathwaite and his team going off for that series? I know you'll be there.
I think they can do well. We have a fairly good Test team too. I mean, we've done fairly well over the years, and it's just a matter of us adjusting to situations. We must play more 4-day games before the Test matches, not 2, 1 washed out, and then you're playing a Test match where you don't have the enough games to take part. When we played in the old days, we played quite all the counties. So you've played county cricket in between test matches. You don't have that anymore. So you need to get a lot more games before the test matches.
Young Jason Holder, a student of yours, is just marked 10 years of Test cricket. He's come around fast, and he's in that team in England. And I mean, he's won the Vision Cricketer of the Year. I mean, what are your thoughts on Mohamed Holder? Can he help turn over England in a few years?
Well, I would. He's chosen, isn't he? All right. I think Jason is a terrific cricketer, and I'm disappointed that he's not playing in all aspects of our cricket. But he is someone that I hold quite dear, because I think that he served us well, and he's not an old guy, and I hope that he continues to play for a while.
And it's 40 years now since you demolished England in 1984. You had Greenwich, you had Haynes, you had Marshall, you had Garner,
Yeah.
you had Richards, you had yourself, you had Dujon Gomes. 40 years on, any memories of?
Oh, I have great memories, because a lot of people they talk about our fast bowlers and so on, but if they realize that 99 or 98% when I took over as captain didn't play a test match, so they were learning on the job, and they did extremely well. We were very professional in what we did, and we made our nation proud. I think the English hierarchy said that we helped their cricket in the 70s, because overseas players were involved in county cricket. So we gave their cricket a lift, because the best players in the world were playing in England. And the same thing as I was just telling this young man, is that the more cricket you play and the better players you play against, you've got to improve.
The moment of that tour must have been Malcolm Marshall bowling with a broken hand.
Yeah.
And then batting with a broken hand. Have you ever seen anything like that in cricket? And
Well,
what did that mean, a young Marshall doing such a thing?
well, it just shows you the type of players we had. I mean, there were guys had plaster cast sort of thing, and then he asked you if I'd like him to play. And so it's one of those things, you don't get a player who's injured to asking you to. I said, well, if you want to play, I will play you. And the other thing that we put the flesh colored plaster around the hand, so that they wouldn't think that it was distracting, because the plaster was just the same color as his hand. So we thought about all the things that could stop us. But it was a marvelous performance, and I can't tell you how high an esteem I hold that young man. It's a pity he's passed on, but he's a great person and a great cricketer for us. And I hope some of the youngsters will take some of what he has produced and done for us, that they would think back and think that they can do just the same.
And then God set you 300 to win and thought he won it. And Greenwich made 220 not out of him.
Well, there again,
that's probably one of the biggest performances you've ever seen.
It's not only our bowling. I remember Christopher Martin Jenkins saying, "Do not declare, do not declare," and they gave us 361 to make in 60 overs, and we got it with time to spare. It just shows you the spirit we had and the talent. Not only bowling, we had batting talent too.
Gordon, I mean, have you ever seen any more explosive batting than that?
No, I've seen him bat. Oh, he's probably the best square cutter I've seen, really. He was really a handful, and tremendous cricketer, and served us very well.
And one final one on you now. It's almost 50 years to 1975. It's 49. We just passed 49. You started World Cup glory for West Indies. Darren Sammy's carried it on. But what was that night like in 1975 in June when you turned the world over and won the World Cup for the West Indies?
It was a tremendous performance, because we were not the front runners. We were way down, People expected England, Australia, and Pakistan. So those guys were doing quite well, and they expected them to win. But we did play good cricket. There's no doubt about it. Great cricket, and you know, I was proud of the way they performed. The game that I think we thought that we were winning the competition when we played Pakistan and at Edgbaston, and we needed 56 or 52 from 14 overs, and the last pair saw us home. It was just an amazing scene, really.
And finally, a lot of young people here might not know you. They know your name, they heard about you, but they don't know your real legacy. In your opinion, what is your legacy to young people in the West Indies? I mean, you are a champion, you're our champion, but how do you see yourself in your as you portray your message to young people in the West?
Well, I want them to realize that sport is important, and we have we have 5 million people of from different walks of life, and we've managed to conquer the world. 17 years you would not have seen the West Indies lose. No country has done that before. We played 29 test matches without losing. All these are records that we've got to be proud of. And I want our young people to understand that, and we played our cricket with aplomb. We weren't nasty. We were revered wherever we went. I've seen our players finish a test match. They've bowled a side out in Adelaide and had about 200 kids they're signing their autograph. They stayed there until the last one was there. So we are not only just cricketers. We were professionals. We were great. We were great for our country, and we were very proud of what we performed, what we did. And I think the young players have something to look forward to, and they have a blueprint there. And I hope that they can, that they will be able to. We're handing over the baton to them, and that they will be able to run with it and continue the great run that we have.
That's on his face.
Yeah, you've led the West Indies to two titles, and with fear of failure, the new term creeping into different international teams. I'd love to know what your team talks were for the semi-finals or finals at the 75 and the 79.
Well, it's one of the things that we did over the years that if we are playing against a team, we go through the whole team. We don't stop at number 8 or whatever and leave out the last 3. We discuss a lot of how we will bowl to certain people, and that's where we were professional. And we didn't have all the equipment they have now, and the analysts, and we had probably 15 or 16 players, well, 16 individuals, 14. We just gelled together. We were happy together, and we didn't have any problems. We wanted to win well, and make our area, our countrymen proud. The point is too that when we were winning, other countries, there are 2 Australians, 2 brothers that played, the Hussey brothers. They said when they were playing for Australia, they backed us when they were young. So we encourage a lot of people outside of our area.
Fun. Who was your favorite cricketer? Who was your all-time favorite cricketer? I mean, you're the favorite cricketer for many people. But who was your favorite?
I don't think you can go for a Garfield Sobers. He was the beacon. He was good at everything he did, and batting with him was a pleasure. And I think that he was just the greatest cricketer that I have played with.
And do you have a modern day favorite?
Oh, there are
Jason
quite a
Holder?
few. There are quite a few. One just Kohli is quite good cricketer. India, Australia have got quite a few players that pretty good. Um, England have got some good players too. And well, the point is because they play a lot of cricket actually, and That's why they've done so well in Test cricket and one days, because they have a lot of cricketers that are on show. But there, to go through some of them, it'll be one guy that is not here for India, and I think he's a good cricketer, Samson. I really think he's a good cricketer, and I thought he, but there again, selectors have different, ways of selecting.
Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yep.
you.
We are obliged.
කරන්ට් කපුවානේ කරන්ට්යක් ලයිට් තියෙන නම් තත්ත්වයෙන් ඉහළ green electric rechargeable LED බල්බම තෝරාගන්න. විදුලි බලය නොමැතිව පැය 4ක් පුරා දැල්වෙන වසරක වගකීමක් සහිත එකම බල්බය. green electric රටම එළියයි ප්‍රමිතියෙන් ඉහළයි.